we are now recording the session. If you're uncomfortable being recorded, you can leave and access the recording later.
Definitely. Again, thank you everyone for joining our info session. We're going to discuss today during this session how to plan and prepare for a semester abroad during your studies at LU. So I'm sure everyone is familiar with this. So a couple of virtual meeting etiquette. As Dr. Sroor said, you are kindly requested to put yourself on mute. The session is being recorded, and if you have a weak connection, please do not open your video. Dr. Sroor shared with you in the chat box the Mentimeter link, so you can just click on the link and share the question, type your question there, and we will answer your question at the end of the session. Moving on, so semester abroad, what does it mean? I'm sure that everyone is very familiar with this. So it's when LU students go study at a partner university and earn credits and transfer their credit backs toward their graduation from LU. Reasons to consider studying abroad, I'm sure everyone already know this, to leave the country, but of course to gain competitive edge in the job market, to understand your major in a new way, to meet new people and build your international network, especially for your graduate studies, for your future internship and career path. Next, you will indeed become more independent and mature. You will get out of your comfort zone and, of course, learn a new language. So, types of semesters abroad. I'm gonna try to simplify this as much as possible. I know usually this slide or the different types are a little bit confusing for students. So technically speaking, we have 3 types of semesters abroad. We have the exchange semester, the Erasmus Plus semester, and finally the study abroad semester. In this slide, we're gonna discuss what's the difference between these 3 types of study abroad semester. So the first type is the exchange semester, which is usually available during fall and spring semesters only. It's where you trade places with a student from a partner university after paying your LAU tuition of fees in full, and scholarship and financial aid will be applicable to your LAU tuition of fees. In addition, you will personally cover your travel and living expenses at the host country. Moving on to the next step of to the next type of semester abroad, it's the Erasmus Plus. As the exchange type, it's applicable only in fall and spring. So these 2 types of study abroad semesters are only applicable in fall and spring and are not available in summer. Erasmus Plus is where you pay your LU tuition fees in full, scholarship and financial aid is applicable, and you will receive a scholarship from the EU to cover your travel and living expenses in the host country. Usually the scholarship is between 600 euros and 800 euros. It all depends on the university and the host city, so we cannot really confirm the amount from now, but usually this is the range. Our last type of semester abroad is the study abroad. Okay, so the study abroad semester is available, or the study abroad type is available for students during fall, spring, and summer. It's where the LU student pay the host university tuition of fees and not LU tuition of fees. So you will not benefit from any financial aid or scholarship you have at LU because you will be paying your host university tuition of fees. As well, you will have to cover your travel and living expense at the host country. I hope this is clear. I tried to simplify it as much as possible. Please, if you have any question, just click on the link in the chat box and write it down. And we will answer all your concern at the end of the slides. Shall I move on, Dr. Sroor? Okay, good to go. Yay! Okay, so what are the general eligibility requirements for students to apply? We'll answer this question here, and as well, it's available on our website, just in case you would like to read it again or check them out. So for undergraduate students, you need to have a minimum GPA of 2.7. you need to complete the English 102 with a good grade. Okay, you should not have any warnings at LAU. You should be in your third or fourth semester at LAU, so junior year or beginning sophomore year. Your last 30 credits should be completed at LAU. This might be a little bit confusing for some students. So if by any chance your last 30 credits are not completed by LAU and you will travel during your last year, just contact us and we will try to solve the issue, because this rule will not be applicable to partner universities. Okay, so if you have a doubt, a question, a concern on this rule, just send us an email and we will answer you immediately. Okay. A very important point here, your last regular semester must be at LAU. And by regular semester, I mean fall and spring. So if you would like to study abroad during spring, for example, but you are graduating in summer, you cannot go. Your last regular semester must be at LAU. And this is it mainly. Moving on to the general eligibility requirement for graduate students, you need to have a minimum GPA of 3.33, completed your first graduate semester at LAU, not graduating during the semester abroad, and no warning at LAU, no warning received at LAU. I'm gonna proceed. Okay, so this is a very important slide to all students, whether graduate or undergraduate, so please pay attention. During your semester abroad, you must be registered in minimum 12 US credits. If you are an undergraduate student, this is the minimum load required from you. If you are a graduate student, you must be registered in minimum 6 US credits. Courses previously taken at LU may not be repeated at any other institution and cannot be transferred back to LU. Only passing grades may be transferred, and a passing grade abroad is the equivalent of C and above for undergraduate students and the equivalent of B and above for graduate students. We will specify the passing grade in each university during the pre-departure orientation, so it's still early to think about this or to worry about this. Once you are accepted, we will host a pre-departure orientation and give you all the details and everything that you will need to proceed. This passing grade rule might exclude engineering courses or some education courses or nutrition courses and graduate courses as well, where higher grades are required. So in case you might have this rule or this criteria required from you from your department, just check with the department and confirm the passing grade. Of course, refer to us again if you have any questions or concerns, and we will be able to support you. So moving on, at the end of your mobility, the transcript from your host university will be sent to us, and it must be letter graded or numerically graded. And by letter graded, I mean A, B, C, D, and numerically graded, it all depends on the universities. Some universities have their grades over 20, over 5, over 7. We will brief you about all of these details during our pre-departure orientation. Okay, so this is very important. I would like to underline this because this is very important. Courses graded pass or not pass or satisfactory or not satisfactory at host university will not be transferred to LAU. Okay, so once you get there, you need to confirm that you will be taking numerical graded courses or letter graded courses. Okay, you will not be able to switch to pass or not pass. And if you try to switch to pass or not pass grading or pass or not pass transcript, the courses will not be transferred back to LAU. Moving on, once we receive your numerical or letter graded transcript from host university, your courses will be transferred as pass and not pass for exchange or Erasmus students, and the T as transfer or not transfer for study abroad students. Jumping to the good news here to all students, your GPA will not be affected. But of course, and I have typed this in red, we still expect everyone to excel at host university, okay? Dr. Sroor, do you agree with me? Definitely, okay. Okay, moving on to our next slide. So our fall 2021 call of application is not yet open. We will open it at the beginning of January. So you will receive an email with the announcement and application link and everything. Meanwhile, you can check our website to know more about the application process, the required document, eligibility, who can help you at your school, the list of available universities, and the credits conversion formula. Now you can access the website and check the available universities, but please note that this list is not yet 100% confirmed. And as I said, once the call is open, you will receive an email from us. Okay. So after this session, and since our website is to a certain extent updated, you can start from now to work on your course transfer form maybe, or to check the available universities, or at least to have an idea on when you can apply, where you can go, and divide your options accordingly. Moving on to what is the process to apply for an exchange or study abroad or an exchange or an Erasmus semester. So we have an online application, we have a course transfer form, and we have a sponsorship letter. In the next slides, we will explain each form or each application very briefly. Okay. The two last items, the course transfer form and the letter of consent or the sponsorship letter, must be uploaded in the online application form by the assigned deadline. So, step one, the online application. The online application is fully online, no hard copies are needed at all. Registration is required for first-time applicants. Don't worry, the application is very simple. It includes the general questions, your name, your ID, your major, where are you applying to, and a very short and brief paragraph about you. Okay, please note that you can apply to maximum 2 universities. After you submit your application, you will have the option to download it. So please do and save it on your PC or on your desktop just to keep it in your record. Moving on to the next form, the course transfer form. You can see it here.
Do you want me to take over here?
Yes, definitely.
So this is what drives me crazy and drives most of the students crazy. So basically, you need to, when you identify a university that you want to travel to, you need to make sure that they have courses that are going to help you achieve your goals at LAU. What are your goals at LAU? Well, I hope that's to graduate. So how do you know that process, how close you are to graduation? Well, you look at your degree evaluation, right? And there you'll see what courses you still need to complete. Then what you do is you go to that host university, the school that you want to travel to. And there usually you can find catalogs or course listings. And of course, the links to those schools through the Office of International Services can help you get to the right landing page in the school. Within that, you will find classes that sometimes sound like what we have at LAU. So, but not always, but kind of more or less. So, right, we have all these accounting classes. They might have at the other school like business accounting, and we just have accounting, right? So you have to think about matching. Does that sound reasonable? So that's where you start. You start with the title of the course, and then you dig deeper, and you look for the description, for the syllabus of the course. And if the syllabus has the same topics, maybe even the same textbook as we use at LAU, well then yay, you're in business. And that's where this form comes into play. What you do on this form is you put the name of the course and the course number and the number of credits. And I'll talk on the next slide about the credits and the difference between European credits and LAU credits. But you put the course name and number, the course title, and the number of credits at the host university. You put here in the middle column what you believe it transfers to at LAU. And then you staple to this, or you carry with it, or you scan in, or if you can even copy paste into the little cell there on the table, you include the description and the syllabus. This needs to then go to the chair of the department that has that class at LAU, and they'll sign it. Before you go asking for the signatures, you might consider coming by the international services coordinator within each school. So there's a faculty member like myself in every school, and they can take a look at your draft before you get those signatures. You know, if you write it in pencil, you can be sure you can change it a little, and show them. Now, of course, we're in an online modality, so you can do this by email as well, and they'll look at it. And if it's reasonable, they'll tell you who to get all the signatures from. So here, right, on scratch paper, write out the list of courses you need at LAU, go to the link of the school you're applying to, identify the courses that match your list, and fill out the form accordingly, and then talk to an exchange advisor, okay? When you go to that chairperson, though, after you talk to the exchange advisor and you're sent off on this scavenger hunt of signatures, or now it's all electronic, so scavenger hunt of email collections, right? There's a certain way to communicate with faculty members. So I want to be clear about that. And I think we have that in a couple of slides. But
Yes.
You definitely want to be. So we'll go ahead. I think it's. It's way ahead. Okay, I'm jumping all over the place. But here it is. Right, you want to be polite to the chairperson and ask for the signature and show them the syllabus and everything. Do not go to the chair people and say, hey, Dr. Storer said you were going to sign this, so sign it. That usually doesn't go over well, and they come back to me and they get mad at me because they think I actually said that. So don't do that. Be polite and explain what it's for, and if they need more information, you know who they can contact and so on. So, but going back up to discuss the credits, so slide 17, I think, is where we're at. There we go. Yeah. So here's the catch. So aside from just matching the titles and then reading the descriptions and checking if it fits, the other thing you have to think about if you're traveling to Europe, which I think most of the exchange relations are with Europe, is that they use something called the ECTS. ECTS stands for European Credit Transfer System, and it's not the same as our credits. We have policies in place that allow you to transfer 4.5, or 5 ECTS or 6 ECTS classes into 3 LAU credits. So it's roughly 2-to-1 conversion, but we have some wiggle room on the low end so that because some schools have only 4 ECTS or 5 ECTS classes. So you can see there. If you have in Aarhus in Denmark, for example, they love these 10 ECTS classes. I don't know why, but they love them. And so as a result, the trick there is that in terms of topics, like there's an operations and production management 10 ECTS class, that's only going to come back as the 3 OPM credits for credits. But you have technically 6 credits you can bring back. So then you might want to get creative. Maybe those can be counted as free elective. Or if you find a 10 ECTS statistics class, for example, and you can demonstrate that they actually cover the basic statistics, what we would call QBA 201 in the business school, and QBA 301 in that one course, then you get QBA 201 and QBA 301 back as the 2 courses. So you have to be a little bit creative sometimes, but with some thought and careful planning. And that's why we're having this meeting now. Even though that the applications aren't open, we want you to start planning for this. A little trick, free electives are very easy to bring back. LAC electives are generally easy to bring back. So if you're an undergraduate, of course, leaving your elective courses for that semester you're on exchange, that will make planning and doing these course transfers easier. If you're trying to bring back a very particular technical core course, those are harder to get approved. So think about that. Start the planning now. The idea is that eventually we'll open the applications. They will be for fall 2021. So that means you have your spring semester and your summer semester to take or not take classes to set yourself up so that in that fall semester you have the right classes available. Going ahead, these are the people that exist to help you. So there I am associated with the School of Business. but all of these people across the different schools are wonderful people that can help you make the right decisions on your course transfers. Again, though, of course, be polite. So now we're back to slide 19. Be polite when you reach out to faculty members. We're all busy and we're all stressed out. So politeness goes a long way. I think that's it, but I'm sure there's a ton of questions because we went really, really fast. So yeah. I'll let you finish the presentation and then we'll come on over and we'll look at all the questions. So just to remind you, if you're joining late or if you've come in and out due to technological issues, there's this link. You can click on that and there you can enter questions you might have. When we're done with this slide set, I'll share those questions and we'll answer them one by one across the whole group.
Definitely. Thank you, Dr. I would like to add a little one thing on the courses slide, because we have a lot of students interested in registering or completing courses that are not available at you. Not even, there's no similarity at all with any of the courses. So we have created something called the exchange elective, where we support students in taking maximum 2 courses abroad and transferring them to as exchange elective, falling under the pre-elective umbrella.
I put in the chat that magic course is called EXC 380. So if you have a class that you're dying to take at the host university because it's so interesting and we definitely don't have it here, which is the point of exchange, then that's what you would put on the course transfer form, and that's fine. Just make sure on your degree evaluation that you have the free elective credits so that that's where those will be placed. They become free elective credits.
Definitely. Okay. So moving on, any additional documents? So mainly we need architecture students to submit their portfolio by hand to the department before the deadline of application. As for engineering students, they are required to submit 2 course transfer forms. If you have any question regarding this, please contact us, but I'm going to explain very briefly. On the first course transfer form, you have to list out all the engineering courses you would like to take abroad. And on the second transfer form, you have to add up any exchange elective or LAC elective that you would like to take abroad. So 1 course transfer form for engineering courses and another one for electives. These are the additional documents required from architecture and engineering students only. Moving on to the third required document, which is the letter of permission or consent. This document must be signed by your guardian, by your parents, just to take their authorization to go abroad, to support you if any additional for any additional financial expenses. Moving on, what happens next? So once the call of fall 2021 is open, you will have, I think, around 1 month or 1 month and a half to complete the application and submit everything. Once the call of application is closed, we will automatically evaluate all application and try to maximize the matching between eligible students and available slots. Okay, you will receive the final selection result by email, whether you are accepted or rejected. We send out all the emails to all students. And the congratulations email will contain important instructions like the application link for your host university, the next steps needed, the deposit payment, and all that stuff. So please, if you will be applying, keep checking your email, okay? After your application, keep checking your email because you will receive the updates from the Office of International Services by email. Moving on, I think this is our last slide. If you have any questions, please contact us. Our extension in Beirut is 1125. I work between Beirut and Byblos campus, so Byblos student as well, please contact me on this number. Please note that due to the COVID pandemic and the lockdown restrictions, you are kindly requested to send your inquiries by email for now or schedule a WebEx call because we are not available in the office daily. This is our email, and you can find out my personal email address on the website as well. This is it mainly. It's 2:30, which is great. Let's jump to the questions. Dr. Thur, I think you are muted.
I do that every time. I'm a disaster. Okay. Yeah. So I'll go ahead and I'll switch and share the Mentimeter slide. But while we're doing that, Dima, there was a question in the chat from Tatiana asking, where can I find the list of host universities, please? So maybe if you can paste the OIS link into the chat, that would be awesome. While I go over and share the Mentimeter.
Okay, definitely. I'm gonna as well just share very quickly where is our website, our webpage located, just so you can easily access it later on. So this is the LU website. You click on experience and you jump to the second item, study abroad.
You need to share the web browser. It's the dumb WebEx thing. Sorry about that.
Definitely. Yeah, I will do that. And this is our webpage. Okay,
No, you need to share it through WebEx. All we see is gray.
Okay. I'm sure. I'm sorry. Yalla.
Yeah, it's a dumb WebEx thing. Very dumb software.
Okay, yalla. Okay, so let me go back. So this is the Ali website. Perfect. You click on experience, the second item, study abroad. And here you go. This is the OIS webpage. Everything is available here. I'm going to share the link as well on the chat box. So we are now talking about the exchange and study abroad. So it's the first box. You click here and you will access all the information we have now mentioned. Plan, eligibility, the right program, apply, the key departure orientation. So the student asked about the available universities. The list is here. You have this filter. So it really makes everything easy. But please note that the final list of all 2021 universities will be slightly updated in January at the beginning of January. Okay.
Great. And we have another question in the chat. Where can we find the PowerPoint slides?
We will try to upload this WebEx meeting recording on our webpage, so you can access from our webpage. Okay, but the slide alone it's not available anyway. But all the information are on this webpage. Just read, everything is here. I have copied my presentation from our website. Okay, so don't worry. As long as you check our website, you have all the information we have covered in in this info section.
Excellent. So I'm going to start sharing the Mentimeter again. One more reminder in the chat. There's the link to the Mentimeter so that if you have questions while we're going through the questions, you certainly can ask those. So let's, so here we are. Here's the first question. So what if I took ENG 102 as pass, no pass? Excellent question. Dima?
It's fine. As long as you receive a pass grade, it's fine.
Excellent. So answered. If, for example, I went abroad and needed extra money, how can my parents transfer money if the banks are not transferring any money abroad, nor OMT, etc.? My question is there any other way? So, carrier pigeon? I think start training your pigeons, and then your parents can fly money to you through pigeon. No, I'm just kidding. I think the thing to keep in mind here is that this is definitely something to consider before going on exchange.
Definitely.
It shouldn't be one of these cases where maybe your parent has an arrangement with their employer that allows certain fresh dollar transfers if they can demonstrate that they have a child overseas and they're trying to send you on exchange to become that child overseas. That's not a good idea, right? That's a little bit risky. So you really want to have this thought about before you go on exchange. And I realize that that's definitely a hardship these days. Hopefully things change, the situation changes. Hopefully we can overcome this, but definitely something to think about before you go on exchange. You don't want to get stranded without money somewhere else, or living on those ramen noodles for every meal. Good.
Definitely. You summarized it all, Dr. Sroor.
Okay. I'm taking ENG 102 next semester, can I apply before the February deadline? Dima.
Usually we prefer students when they apply to already have the English 102 course graded on their transcript, okay? But we cannot really tell students do not apply. Please apply, and we will try to base our language criteria on your SAT score that you will include in your application form or any other English test scores, okay? But this is not a guarantee that you will automatically be selected. Okay, you might be on the waiting list, you might have an acceptance يعني a limited accept just until your English 102 grade is out. Okay, but my advice to you, if you can wait and delay your exchange semester, this will be the best option. Okay, to be on the safe side, and if you are eligible to automatically be selected as well.
Great. Good. Will we get the chance to apply for financial aid in the host university if in the study abroad program? Oh, okay. Well, Dima will have a better answer than I do for that one. So, Dima?
يعني if I understood this correctly, the student is asking if he is at the host university as a study abroad student and not as an exchange.
Correct.
If he can apply for the financial aid, of course you can apply. You can apply for the financial aid at LU for the next academic year, wherever you are. So you can apply definitely.
Oh, but I think they mean in the host university. Can they get money from the host school? And I think that's a matter of the host school.
Yeah,
that's
but
not something we can control. And it's study abroad, so you're not paying LAU. It's not like you're, getting financial aid at LAU and then getting money from another school. So that would be sort of an ethical dilemma. No, if you're going study abroad, you're paying the host school's tuition, and if that host school is gracious enough to give you a scholarship or aid, then that's between you and the host school as a study abroad student. At least that's my understanding.
Yeah, okay, I get it now. Okay, I get it now. But usually the financial aid for international students, for specifically study abroad students from host universities are usually limited.
Yeah, exactly. Excellent. Does the GPA at the host country affect the cumulative GPA at LAU? No. Dima, do you want to say more?
We already covered this, but let me recap it very quickly. Your grades and your grades at the host university will not affect your GPA at LAU or your grading at LAU. Okay, but this will definitely affect your application for future graduate program, for future internship, for future career application. Okay, so I'm going to repeat as I previously mentioned during the session. We expect from all of you to excel at post universities.
Exactly. And so it's the courses come back as pass, no pass. So it doesn't affect your GPA, but if you no pass, you have a problem. And obviously, you want to score well because this is material you're learning, and the knowledge is very important if there's a second level of the course that you'd come back and take here, of course. As a pre-med student, can I take core courses in the host university?
As a pre-med student, my advice to you is before applying, please check with your school. Okay?
Yeah. So it might be possible, but again, this is something that your school needs to agree to, and that's the role of the course transfer form. And so, of course, if there's a core course that's really critical, you want to make sure that you have the full syllabus, the name of the textbook, all the learning outcomes associated with that course at the host university when you take that information to your exchange coordinator or advisor. Because they need to verify. We have a general rule that it's something like 75% or so of the material covered at the host university should overlap with the material at LAU. So there is some wiggle room when we evaluate these transfers, but you need, if you do your homework first, it's going to be a lot easier for us to verify that. What English 102 grade is considered as a good grade?
يعني This is why we didn't specify no grade. Okay. So I can't really say it's C or C plus or B minus, but please try to do your best because your English level will really affect your studies abroad. Okay. Partner universities do not use the Lebanese way, like Lebanese with English, with French during their classrooms. So it's English, English, English. So please try to do your best in English 102. Try to do your best and do best and work hard for it, so you can apply and have a good and be selected, inshallah.
And I'll be honest, I mean, I think it's not only important when you go on exchange, but while you're preparing for exchange. So in all this, admonitions, there's a good big English 102 word for you, that I made about contacting your faculty. If you can write an intelligent, comprehensive email in English for the faculty member, you're going to, get your course transfers approved better. So that would be an indication of your English skill and your English capability. If somebody emails me with a request about a course transfer and I can barely understand what they're asking, or it's just really like, nothing's capitalized properly, no proper opening, no proper closing, all these things that you learn in your English classes, then that's, also going to kind of make me question your suitability to go on exchange. So yes, your English 102 grade is important, but it's also important how you present yourself to us in English. Okay. Doesn't the NoPass for transferred classes after completing exchange affect choice for graduate scholarships or cumulative GPA or financial aid?
For graduate scholarships or cumulative GPA. Regarding graduate scholarships, as we have previously mentioned, when you apply,
I think they're asking this question for the future. Like, I
yes,
think my understanding is it's an undergraduate asking, and of course, if you're the one that asked this, you can unmute and jump in. An undergraduate asking about their ability after they graduate to access graduate scholarships. If they've taken a semester exchange and have lots of pass, no pass classes on their transcript.
Yes, sorry to interrupt, but I asked this question. I wanted to know because I usually understand that when applying for graduate scholarships, they look at how many pass, no pass grades the student take, and if it's a lot of classes, it affects their ability to take the scholarship. And I also want to ask about the financial aid. So, how will it affect financial aid after I get back from my exchange semester?
So regarding the financial aid part, it will not affect the financial aid, your percentage in the financial aid at LEU. But please, you have to keep in mind that while abroad, if there is any application or application period or deadline for the financial aid, you need to apply, even if you are abroad. You are responsible for this. Okay, we cannot apply on your behalf. Regarding the pass and not pass, and not pass for the graduate studies, please keep in mind that if you are applying for any graduate program, the first document they will require from you is the LU transcript. Once they receive it, they will look at it and see the pass and not pass grades from your semester abroad, and they will automatically ask you for the transcript from your previous host university. Okay, so this is why we informed students to excel abroad, because at the end of the day, at certain time, it's either a graduate program, a career, an internship. People will request from you the transcript of your host university.
That's excellent. So excellent answer. And when you apply for the graduate program, yeah, it's not that you're not getting a grade. You're getting a grade at a different school. So you have more than one transcript, and you can submit all your transcripts when you apply. And then they'll see the grade. So it shouldn't affect it. And in fact, if anything, it would affect positively, because going on exchange, leaving your home country, it demonstrates that you have the ability to cope with novel experiences, dynamic events. You can find your own way in the world, and it gives you an advantage. And maybe you even have developed language skills, definitely cultural understanding skills. So this is for your future, this can only be a good thing, unless you go and you mess it all up. But we don't expect you to do that, right? Okay.
Yes.
If my GPA is lower than 2.7, can I still apply for master's degree? In terms of going on exchange at the graduate level, we definitely want the higher GPA. This is an indication of your ability to succeed. So if you're a master's student applying to a master's exchange program, you definitely need that higher GPA. If you're an undergraduate student applying for an undergraduate exchange or study abroad opportunity and you have like 2.69, put in your application. Sometimes you get lucky, but I'll be honest, the applications that we've been seeing lately and the grades, the GPAs we've been seeing on those applications have been really high. And so the competition is stiff. But again, sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes there's a school you want to go to, no one else wants to go there. You're the last person standing and you get to go. So don't be too terribly discouraged, but if you have a little bit more time on the clock and another semester to work on your GPA, try that. We do consider, if you have a good story in the paragraph that you submit, if you have a good story why your GPA is lower, maybe you suffered, adverse health events, or you have something really compelling about something you overcame, that can help. So I'm not going to say don't apply, but think hard before you apply. Does the exchange program prefer certain students over others? Oh my God, no.
No.
Sorry. No. I work really hard, at least so I evaluate the business school applications. In terms of the business school, we have a lot of partners just because we're a large school. We have other partner schools. It's easier maybe for the business majors to partner. So majors, in terms of majors, that depends on your school because the schools have different requirements about partnering and so on. But within a school, in terms of students selected to go on exchange, we work very hard to make sure that we're sending as many women as men, as whatever race, gender, whatever it might be. We want to make sure that we're balancing and that everybody's having equal access. And that's why we've also worked really hard to make sure that your financial aid goes with you, so that we're not just choosing, rich students. We want everybody to have this opportunity. So in terms of the individual, we work very hard actually not to discriminate. In terms of majors, again, it comes to your school. We had, architecture has had a really hard time partnering because they're, and the design majors, they have
engineering very
hard. Nursing it's hard. The medical fields, it's hard because the curriculum, the legal requirements of practicing these things in foreign countries. But no, we work really hard to try not to. And if you're bothered that your school in particular does not have a lot of study abroad or exchange opportunities, bring that up, right? You're our customer. Mention that to the dean. Write a nice letter to the dean and explain that you would like more, or talk to your exchange coordinator and explain that you'd like more opportunities and they should be working to provide you those opportunities. So you are, at the end of the day, the customer, and if you feel that things are not fair in your school, you raise your voice.
Yes, definitely.
Good. Is there a limit to how many people can get accepted to the programs? Do you want to take that, Dima?
We have a limit. It depends on the university and it depends on the scholarship, the Erasmus Plus available mobilities. Okay. We do not specify the number of spots available on our webpage to encourage all students to apply, and as well to try. Sometimes we try to negotiate if we have a good number of students and they are all excellent. Sometimes we try to negotiate with our partner universities to have more spots for our students. Okay, so we have a limit, but we encourage all students to apply to the university they would like to attend. Okay, you can apply up to 2 universities.
Yeah, and this also comes so where you want to study might be different than where everybody else wants to study, which means that, you know, the slots there don't matter because already the capacity is more than the demand. So it's a matching of demand and supply. But one thing that will help you is you can choose two schools, and if you're serious, put a course transfer form with both schools. We saw this last round that some people for their second choice didn't bother to do the course transfer. They could have gone to their second choice, but without a course transfer, we couldn't approve that. So it went to that slot went to another person. So you know what, the number of slots, it kind of gets funny because sometimes you have more capacity than you can actually send, and that's just because the students didn't express an interest to go. So select your two schools, fill your course transfers, and your chances aren't bad. Psychology is arts and sciences, or arts and sciences humanities when I come to fill out the school on the site. Oh, the filter. Are you talking about the filter to search for schools on the psychology fills is an arts and sciences, yeah.
It should be under arts and sciences.
It should be arts and sciences. That's my gut feel as well. Is there a limit to how many people can get accepted to the programs? That's there we go. That I forgot to click answered. Can the exchange credits be considered LAC, humanity, and arts? Yeah, so yes, if you're a business student and you want to take all your LAC credits overseas, as long as you find appropriate matches that make sense, or exchange that would count as free electives, just any course that matches doesn't have an LAU match but is interesting to you, that comes back as a free elective. So yeah, you can take LAC credits overseas. That's not a problem. And we see some common ones. Astronomy, that's a popular one for the arts, for the LAC sciences. For the LAC humanities, a lot of the cultural studies, similar things, history classes, we see those come back. Not a problem. Where can I find a list of host universities, please? We talked about that. That should be in the chat. There's the link to that. But your best strategy, go to the LAU homepage, go to experience, go to study abroad. And did I get it right, Dima?
Yes, and
Great.
I copied it again in the chat.
Wonderful. Excellent. Is it possible to repeat briefly about the tuitions, because I had connectivity and could not listen? Oh, these connectivity issues will kill us this semester, huh? Yeah, so study abroad means you go overseas, you don't pay anything at LAU, we freeze your enrollment at LAU, but you pay the host institution. So if you find a host institution that's cheaper than LAU, and then you're in business. Life is good. But remember, you still have to fly there and eat there. So also check the living expenses and the flights. In terms of exchange, this is, you pay your LAU tuition, and that also means your financial aid and all of that. But you travel, of course, to the host school. If it's an Erasmus Plus exchange program and you have been selected as the Erasmus Plus candidate for that school, then you get a small stipend to cover travel and living. So that's then a very good deal because you pay your LAU tuition, but you have the stipend to cover the travel and living. I hope that clarifies. Dima, did you want to add anything? Did I miss anything?
No, you covered it all.
Sorry.
Yes.
Do all Erasmus programs have the Erasmus Plus option?
Yes.
So no, not all exchange programs have Erasmus Plus as an option, and not all slots at all exchange institutions have an Erasmus Plus option. So we have partnerships with a variety of schools in Europe, and they might give us, say they give us 5 slots, but maybe 2 have the money with them, the Erasmus Plus money with them. So then we can select 5 students, but only 2 will get the money. So that's when it becomes a really competitive process. We do check If you have the financial need, that's part of it. And of course, your GPA, that needs to be high. Your small paragraph explaining who you are and why you want to go on exchange. These things matter when we choose out of the 5 students we want to send there. When we choose the 2 that will receive the money, that matters. Good. I hope that.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Is it possible to do my internship abroad after I graduate? This is so if your internship is associated with your degree, then that would be between you and your program. If this internship is just something you want to do after you graduate, that's something you have to line up on your own. I don't think the Office of International Services
Yes.
manages
Yes.
that. They might be able, you might learn something from the links on the OIS about potential places, but they don't coordinate anything after you graduate, unfortunately. Okay. If we don't have an SAT, is EEE enough for the application, Dima?
Yes, it's fine. Yes, it's fine. You can add in your EEE, your triple E results.
Yeah, shows you how little I know about admissions. I'm like, EEE. Yeah, triple E. That does sound better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I just get them after they've applied. I don't have to work with them while they apply for university. In one of the slides, you talked about not being able to apply more than 2 universities, but what if I got rejected in both? So if you get rejected in both, we're sorry. We're really sorry. It means that the competition was really, really stiff. But it doesn't mean you should totally give up hope, because if you apply and you're still, at the early end of your academic career, or maybe you could go in the next semester. So consider applying again. You can always apply in the next semester. There's nothing to stop you. So that's one of the benefits about planning well for the semester that you want to go on exchange, but keeping in mind, if that doesn't work out, do I have a backup plan? So you can apply again. Is it easy for a computer science student to go abroad? I think so.
You get your courses signed, it should be.
And I think that computer science should be one of the easier majors because it's relatively standard, right? So your algorithms classes are going to look more or less the same wherever you are. Your combinatorics is going to look more or less the same wherever you are. Your networking class is going to be standard. I think computer science should be a pretty easy because the classes are so standard that if computer science is a major at the host school, you should be able to find the necessary classes. And of course, you always have your LAC requirements, and you can save your LAC as well in your free electives for the semester you're on exchange as well. If I want to study abroad, but the university I am interested in is not listed, how will that affect my transfer? So this would be a free mover situation. I'll let Dima talk a little bit more about that.
As Dr. Sru said, this is a free mover application. So I prefer if you can send me an email and I'll forward the process for you to start from now. Briefly, you need to petition. Once the petition is approved, you need to apply for the study abroad or at your host university. A second, you need to check the tuition fees at your host universities, and you need to complete the course transfer. So I prefer for the student to ask this question, just send me an email and I'll forward to you the steps with all the documents required from you. But generally speaking, we will not be able to support you with all the details, of course, because this is not a partner university.
Excellent. But don't be shy. Doesn't hurt to ask, right? So we have lots of great questions. I'm going to try to go a little bit quickly because I have another meeting in 3 minutes, but I want to answer as many as possible. Approximately how many engineering students are able to go to exchange or Erasmus Plus programs each semester? I don't think we even wanted to try to give a number on this because unfortunately with the COVID situation and everything else, everything is really disrupted. So it's any number we'd give would be for the pre-pandemic world, which, as we know, is very different from the post-pandemic world. So I think your best bet is to monitor the website and watch for what opens up, and just keep checking back for what might open up. Would it help with acceptance if I already did exchange in high school? Yes and no. Yes, because we'd be reasonably assured that you can handle yourself overseas. No, because we want to spread the wealth and give exchange opportunities to as many people as possible. So it could be a double-edged sword. Don't hide it, of course, if you went on exchange in high school. That's a great thing. It's something to be proud of, and put that in your application. But know that if you have exactly the same high GPA as somebody else and exactly as someone else, we might be choosing the person that hasn't gone in exchange so they can have that opportunity. Double-edged sword there. Good question, though. If next fall would be before my last semester, so I graduate in next spring, can I still apply for fall? Yes, because spring would be your last semester. So if you have, that would work. The 30 credit thing, you need to watch out for that. You need to go to a partner school so that 30 credit rule works out. Did I get that right, Dima?
Yes, yes. But I would like to add one thing. If you go in fall and you are graduating in spring, please, you need to have in mind that if your transcript took a lot of time to reach LAU, your courses will be transferred late, your graduation plan might be delayed. If you by any chance or for any reasons failed a course, will you be able to take it in spring and guarantee your graduation on time or not? Of course, feel free to apply. I just want the student to have all these bits and tricks in mind, just to know what they are expecting.
Exactly. So make sure you have a plan B for whatever might happen on exchange. If my program doesn't have free electives, does it make it harder for me to transfer my courses? It depends. If the host university has all of the classes that you need at LAU, then it's not a problem. You don't have to worry about free electives or not. If the host university doesn't have the courses, then you'll just be hard pressed to find the right transfer in the first place. And that's something else to keep in mind, is that we can't make courses at host universities magically appear. We don't do that. So that's the question I hate the most, is when students come to me and be like, well, just can you make this class happen there? No, I have no jurisdiction over a foreign university. We cannot make them offer a course just because you need it. So doing your homework, you'll be able to see, and maybe it's not hard at all. Maybe you can find all the courses you need. If we are accepted but find out later that we cannot go anymore because of a certain situation, is it possible to send an email and tell them? Do we still have the deposit situation? Maybe Dima will talk to that.
For fall 2020 and spring 2021, we did not require the deposit payments from students due to the current financial crisis and, of course, the COVID situation, because nothing is for sure. We cannot guarantee if the student will go from the start. But starting next year, most probably the deposit will be a requirement from students. So mainly, I'm gonna briefly tell you the steps. So you receive a congratulations email that you are accepted. You have 2 or 3 days to either pay the deposit and confirm your mobility or just cancel. Okay, so you'll have around 2 or 3 days to either confirm or cancel after you get accepted.
Excellent. Yeah, and of course, the sooner you know that you're unable to participate, obviously, the better it is, and be forthright with the office so they can help you. Okay. If I had a year abroad in school, does it affect my semester abroad? Except, so this is like the exchange in high school that I answered already, so I'll move on. Where can we find the recording of this meeting? Good question.
We will try to post it by the end of this week on our webpage.
Perfect. So Office of International Services webpage, best place. If I don't get accepted to the Erasmus exchange program, can I exchange to a university of the... Oh, yeah. So a lot of times the exchange universities, like I said, we might have like 3 slots, but only 1 scholarship. If you don't, we can still accept, but without the scholarship. So that might still be possible if we have the slots. But this is, again, the matching game that goes on in the back end after you apply. So I can't really say anything before you apply and before we know the slots. And this is a big, big question mark these days. We don't know the
Yes.
slots we're going to have. We don't know at all because of COVID. We have no idea.
I would like just to highlight one thing. For example, the student added the example of Politecnico de Torino. Specifically for Torino University, we only have an Erasmus agreement. We do not have an exchange. So if you check the list of our university, you will notice if the university is under Erasmus and under exchange or only under Erasmus. Okay? I hope this is...
Is there a decent selection of graphic design exchange programs? I don't think so.
Yeah, graphic design is very limited, but you can check the list of universities.
Yeah. And again, you can go to your exchange coordinator and see. Maybe you can go as a free mover as well. So don't exclude that. You can create your own exchange as a free mover, but it just takes more work and you're without that safety net of the university. How do we know it's not online? We don't know anything. We don't know. So you're asking, I'm assuming that if you go to a host school and then they're like, oh, we're not having in-person classes, it's all online, go sit in your dorm room and do the classes. Yeah, that's a real bummer, and we don't know. The world is a very fluid place these days, so we can't guarantee anything, but this is why we haven't actually opened the application yet. We're waiting, on all kinds of confirmations. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Do we need a high GPA for Erasmus? Yes. Generally speaking, yes. It's a competitive process, which means you're competing with all kinds of other amazing LAU students. Can the exchange credits be considered? Yeah, we had that already. I guess I just didn't hit the answer quite right. Where can I find the list of host universities, please? There we go. That's on the chat box. Oh, yay. And I need to run, guys. So what's expected? No expected GPA. It's dependent on the competitive process. So I apologize. I can't give a number, but we are seeing GPAs of 4.0 regularly. Okay, you're gonna have to just address your question. I have to stop sharing. I have to end the meeting.
Send us an email and we will answer it. You can check our webpage and see our email address. Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you, Dr. Sur, for the support.
You're welcome.
Hope to hear from everyone soon, and good luck.
Yes, good luck, and use your break to look at those course transfers. The sooner you do them, the happier I am. And everyone else, the OIS, everyone, and the happier you will be too. Bye. Happy holidays.
Bye, everyone. Bye, Dr. Sur. Bye-bye.
Bye.